welcome back, everybody, to the Triad of the Fours podcast, a podcast from friends coming together to do deep dives into Star Wars and other nerd-related media. Today, as we promised, we're going to be talking a little bit TRON Ares because we did watch it. Sorry, it took us a little bit of a minute there to release it, but life happens. We want to talk about a little bit of Star Wars publishing and a little article that came out about Adam Driver and a possible Ben Solo film that is never going to get made. We kind of want to leave the Adam Driver stuff for a separate episode, but we wanted to touch on it a little bit because, we're a Star Wars podcast and the news is recent. But before we get started, Goose, you want to talk some Star Wars publishing?
Yeah, a little bit of Star Wars publishing. Oh my God, I'm exhausted. I can't believe we finally we made it. Those were a rough couple of weeks, but we survived.
Lots of work, lots of everything.
Lots of work,
Adulting sucks.
It does, and it doesn't get easier. It doesn't get easier, does it?
No, it doesn't. We just get older and more tired, and body aches are a thing.
Body aches, and you go out with friends, and then you pay the price the next day. I remember back in the day, we could just bounce back and keep going.
Yep.
But I don't want to bore everyone with our midlife crises that we might or might not be going through. We want to go into the grid and talk about programs and Kevin Flynn and Ares and all that wonderful Tron world stuff, or not wonderful. We'll get to that. But yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about publishing. I know there's a lot of announcements out there. I just wanted to kind of highlight for everyone. If you're on social media and you're keeping track of everything and you're a lover of the prequels, you already know that the Revenge of the Sith special edition of the novelization by Matt Stover from back in 2005 was obviously republished as a special edition with sprayed edges, with with the text inlay there and special artwork in. But one of the coolest things about it, if you have time, I do not currently have time, so I haven't been able to explore this, but has new annotations by Matt Stover. So there's a bunch of new revelations, I guess, there from the writing of the book and deeper insights into the film and George Lucas and the process of writing a novelization for like a major motion picture. So, if you're a fan of Star Wars publishing, you're a fan of Revenge of the Sith, or if you just love to collect beautiful books, just get out there and get this one. It's a looks like a wonderful one to have in your library. And then another one that I wanted to mention real quick, for all of you design nerds as I am, like the new Star Wars, the blueprints came out.
Oh, that's
which
cool.
Is a new edition of the old Star Wars blueprints book by J.W. Rinsler. This one, unfortunately, J.W. Rinsler passed away a couple of years ago, so he was not able to do this expanded edition. So that fell onto Pablo Hidalgo. So the previous edition covered mostly the original trilogy and a little bit of the prequels. This one has a little bit more on the prequels and some content on the sequel trilogy. So if you're a fan like me of art books and design and seeing how the sausage is made, I definitely recommend that one. So there's a lot of good stuff in there. And then there's other publishing news that came out from New York Comic Con, but we're a couple weeks late to that, so you've probably read already that information on StarWars.com or social media. But I do want to let everyone know that Master of Evil by Adam Christopher is coming out in a couple of weeks, so keep an eye on that one. We were very lucky to receive an ARC for that, so obviously it's embargoed, but we'll be able to share our review on it closer to publishing. And it's a good pairing with the publishing of Revenge of the Sith, because Master of Evil is a Darth Vader book. Or is it? So keep tuned for that. We're hoping to go deep into that book, but it's definitely exciting. So those are kind of like the quick Star Wars publishing news that I wanted to talk before the main topic, which was supposed to be TRON, but then Adam Driver came out with this interview, wasn't on the Reporter or something. We don't want to distract because we really want to talk about TRON. and we'll definitely do a full episode on the news about Adam Driver and a potential Ben Solo film,
Yeah.
or not potential, I guess. You know, if you read the article, you know what's happening there. But that's what life does to us. Like all this news comes
Yeah.
out and it conflicts with the things that we want to talk about. But you know, that's what happens when you're a millennial hosting a podcast. Life gets in the way of podcasting. Um,
Hmm.
but instead of Adam Driver, today we get to talk about Jared Leto. No one's favorite actor. And if he's your favorite actor, I apologize for my
Well,
snark.
yeah.
But you
And
know,
as
strap in.
honestly, as we respectfully speculated, and we were right this time, he was still the worst thing about the movie.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Before Aries, let's talk about
Mhm.
Tron Legacy. I mean, we can talk about the
Mhm.
original Tron if you are so disposed to talk about that, because I did see the original Tron back in the Tron Legacy days, 15 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
You know, it's a movie of its time, and
Mhm.
it's good for what it is for the time, but it didn't really resonate with me.
Yeah.
Did you watch the original Tron?
I watched the original Tron when it first came out. I remember really loving it as a kid. Um, and then I kind of reconnected with it because I'm a huge fan of the Kingdom Hearts games, and they have a whole
They
section of
have,
the
yeah,
game
that's
dedicated
true.
to Tron. So
Yeah.
I became like reacquainted with the character through that. And then Tron Legacy came out, and I think I rewatched it for Tron Legacy, but I didn't watch the original Tron this
Mhm.
time. Just because honestly, I think it hasn't really aged well. Um,
Mhm.
Even though it definitely was way ahead of its time and everything that shows up, but sometimes like the visuals of it kind of hurt my brain a little bit now that I'm older and
And
just like
we'll talk about
yeah.
visuals of the original Tron.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting, because I never saw the original Tron
Back in the day.
growing up. Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
I saw it paired with Tron Legacy, and after Tron Legacy, in fact, because
Okay,
when
so you didn't actually watch the original one until Tron
no,
Legacy, just
until Tron
really?
Legacy. Yeah, yeah. And I only
Okay.
saw it after when I bought the special edition Blu-ray for it, because the special edition
Right.
Blu-ray was like had both films on it with all the
Yeah.
special features
Okay,
for it
okay,
and
okay.
everything. So once I bought that, that's when I visited that film and went into the original grid.
Right.
So it's always funny to watch these films backwards, you know, because it's
Mhm.
a little bit of whiplash, right? Because
Yeah.
you're going back technologically, so you have to get back into the headspace of
Of what films looked
what
like in the 80s?
exactly of what happened. Well,
Yeah.
or the technology, right? Because
Yeah, that
you
was
know,
available. Mhm.
Tron Legacy kind of shows us a vision of what happened post that movie, but like it's visually completely different, and we'll
Yeah,
talk
it
about
is.
that.
Mhm.
But yeah, no disrespect to like the original one, but exactly
Yeah.
because I saw it later in life, like I don't think that I had that emotional
Yeah, it didn't
connection to
resonate
it.
with you that much. Yeah.
No, but you know, but we respect it. We respect it for
Mhm.
the, no pun intended, for the legacy
The
that it has
legacy.
left in visual effects and film.
Yeah.
Because without that movie, we wouldn't have had Tron Legacy, which I thought was a really fascinating film. Like I loved it. I don't know
Mhm.
if you saw it in theaters, or what was your experience with going into Legacy. Like, did you go into Legacy being like, hell yeah, a Tron sequel, or did you
I
kind of
was
see it detached
no,
from
I
that?
was actually really excited about Legacy. Like I said, I was a fan of the original when I was a kid, and when I found out that Jeff Bridges was going to be in it, I was like amazed. And then that beginning when it starts, the speech about the grid, Jeff Bridges narrating like the camera angle of kind of the city turning into the grid, and then you get that awesome Daft Punk soundtrack going, and it was fantastic.
Yeah,
I actually rewatched it again after watching Aries,
so good.
because I remember talking about it with Hosbando. Hosbando didn't like Legacy the first time around, and then after watching Aries, he's like
You
a fan.
appreciate it.
The problem is that I remember that there was a lot of issues with like Jeff Bridges de aging,
Yeah.
and that has definitely not aged well. It's like even worse than it was back in the day. I
You
feel
think
like,
so? Like
yeah,
I didn't.
actually, I thought it was a major flaw. I feel like if they would have just kept Clue with the
Yeah,
mask on, you just hear Jeff Bridges' voice, and you
interesting.
wouldn't have to see that like CGA face. It might have actually worked better, which is what they did with Tron. Like
Yeah,
Tron
yeah,
is
yeah.
behind the mask almost the entire time.
Yeah, the only times you see like the DH Tron is like with
Yeah.
the grain, the film grain, and the
Yeah,
flashbacks.
and
Yeah,
he's not really speaking because I think the big issue is like when they speak that the
yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah.
face just kind of just doesn't work. So I honestly feel like that aged really badly. The
Interesting. Like I mean,
yeah.
I don't think it's good, right? Like we've seen like
Mhm.
incredible de aging
Mhm.
nowadays, but I remember like back in the day being like, this is incredible,
Yeah,
and
I remember at the time it didn't
outfits.
bug me, but this time it was like it kind of took me out of the moment
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes,
yeah.
you know? So yeah, so that didn't age well. But
But I think
eh,
the with Clue, I didn't
mhm.
like feel it that bad. It was mostly like the young Kevin Flynn in the flashback
Especially
when
at the
he
beginning when he's like talking to
that one I can be like,
yeah.
okay, I don't know
Yeah, it's
why
like
that scene looks a little wonky. But I
yeah.
don't know, it never bothered me too much because it's a CG
Yeah,
world, everything's
of
digital.
course.
So I'm just
Mhm.
like, okay, I buy it,
You
and then
might. Mhm.
it's kind of one of those first genuine de aging efforts that Hollywood did.
Yeah.
It's not like
And it
before
was
deep fakes and
extensive, like,
everything.
because
Yeah.
Clue was in it a lot, and the younger version of Flynn was in it too. So, you know,
But Jeff Bridges, man, like you can't
Jeff
like
Bridges. Oh, Jeff
so
Bridges.
good.
Oh, and Jeff
Like the
Bridges, and the fact that he was basically just playing the
digital
dude,
dude. Yeah.
and yeah. But yeah, so I think Tron Ares actually kind of elevates Tron Legacy. um, like I was saying, Hosbando was literally like, I don't even remember liking Tron Legacy at all. And watching it this time now, kind of in hindsight,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
I always thought that movie was underrated. I think
Yeah,
it's actually
same.
really good. I think it's really worth a rewatch from everybody that has kind of like forgotten about it or didn't really give it that much of a time of day. It's on Disney Plus,
Yeah, and they
so you
finally
should.
upgraded it to 4K.
Yeah.
4K Dolby Vision finally after years they finally upgraded it. So if you haven't seen it or haven't seen it in a minute, go, well, I mean, obviously buy a Blu-ray better and get
Yeah.
a higher quality, but if you have Disney Plus, go see it there cuz it looks amazing. Cuz that's what I remember watching it for the first time, just being blown away by those visuals
Yeah.
and like seeing on the big screen and all the digital effects of the grid, like they blew my mind. Like, they hold up this day. Like, and that's one of those
Oh
things
no,
with
it holds up. The games
yeah,
are
yeah,
great. The light cycles are great. I mean, all of it. It's really good. That whole scene at the pub,
hmm
uh,
hmm with Michael
is
Sheen. Like,
yeah, with
we have
Michael
Michael
Sheen just
Sheen.
dancing with his clear cane and the whole thing. I mean, it's fantastic. It's Tron Legacy is actually really good. So that's why I had really high expectations for Tron Ares.
Yeah, I had conflicting emotions about Tron Ares because
Mhm.
I'm like, ah, man, I've always wanted a sequel to Tron Legacy, but I just didn't want it
Which
with Jared Leto, and so I'm
well,
just
the
like
problem
coming
was
into
they
it.
were gonna do an
Yeah,
actual sequel at some point, right? Like
yeah,
years
yeah, a direct
ago.
one. Yeah,
And then
but
this one,
development hell.
yeah. And then they gave the okay to Jared Leto for some reason, and it's not a movie about Tron. They should have just called it Ares. Um,
Right, Tron isn't even in it.
yeah,
Tron's
Tron.
not
It
in
doesn't
it.
even make a cameo in this.
Which, to be fair, he's barely in Legacy.
Right.
So I
Well, I
get
mean,
that Tron
actually,
just means something
he's in it
else
the
at
whole
this
time. You
point.
just think he's Rizzler,
True, 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 true.
which, which, in hindsight, watching it now, it's so obvious that it's
Yeah,
him, and
because
I didn't catch
he always
the
has the
T.
T on it.
Yep. It's super obvious, and I didn't notice it. I was super shocked when Flynn is like, "Oh my god, it's Tron!" What? Tron? Tron?
Yeah,
Okay, so Tron Ares.
Tron Ares. It was a movie. Let's
Yeah,
start saying that it was a movie. Uh, Lots of people were involved making it, and I respect all the talent behind the scenes because making a movie is not easy, especially like a movie like this. So, kudos to everyone involved making it because
yeah.
you worked very hard and the effort. We can see the effort.
I'm done
You
now.
know,
Come on, get spicy. You know you want to.
man, it was not good. It was not. It was not a good. It was not. I mean, if you liked it, more power to you. Sound off in the comments because I want to see something that I wasn't seeing, but it was just from beginning to end. I was like, this is not a good movie. They should have just called it something else because it wasn't like a Tron film. Like it starts like Tron Legacy with the whole TV. And I mean, spoiler alerts for everybody with the TV and like doing the background on anything. But it's just like, okay, the film Tron Legacy ends with Sam Flynn getting control back of the company. But then this movie's just like, okay, never mind that. Like, or
Yeah,
forget
Tron Legacy
everybody.
never happened. Yeah.
Yeah, forget everything about that movie. Now we have like some new nepo baby CEOs that are taking over Kevin Flynn's company, and don't worry about them. They're just characters that we're introducing here without any context. So you're supposed to like them because they're the good guys. But it's like a battle of CEOs. Like, here's the good CEO and the bad CEO, and the bad CEO wants to do bad AI, and the good CEOs want to do good AI. And all we need is the CEOs to just be good so that society can be great. And I was just like, this is horrible. This is bad messaging in a time where billionaires are destroying the country and AI is threatening to ruin everyone's job and destroy the economy with data centers. And it's like, this is not the smart way to talk about AI. And I haven't even talked about Jared Leto in the grid, but Jared Leto, horrible. I mean, he's not a horrible actor. He's been good in some films, but he's
Yeah.
a bad guy who's done bad things in real life. Uh, Uncompelling. He had the personality of ChatGPT. He was not
Oh
uh,
yeah, he was totally soulless.
soulless. I
Which
mean, it's like,
which
what?
I actually kind of thought was good because then I didn't find that annoying. I can like think of him as a background character almost. Um,
Almost. But he had
almost.
started that way and then developed a personality. I'm like, okay, but his personality is
He
that he
was
listened to Depeche Mode, and I was like, when did that happen? All of a sudden, you listen to Depeche Mode, and
yeah.
now I'm supposed to like you? I don't know. It's one of
Okay.
those things that I don't know. What about you? What about you? What's your
Yeah, so spicy. I
initial
liked
take?
it.
You liked it?
I liked
Oh
it.
my god! It was. Oh, I'm confused.
Yep.
I'm very confused.
Um so I kind of went into it being very guarded about what to expect, honestly. So I kind of just took it as face value and
Mhm.
kind of just really went along for the ride. I mean, honestly, just it's worth a watch just because the Nine Inch Nails soundtrack is amazing. I thought it was great. I don't know if you disagree with
I
me.
thought it was good, but
I thought it was
it
fantastic.
never took me to Daft Punk.
It never took you to Daft Punk. It
Like
it
there
kind
were
it
moments that I'm just like, yeah, yeah, but overall, I'm gonna still keep listening to, and I don't want to sound like
right.
a curmudgeon that the past is better because I don't think that way. But in this case, I'm like, but the Daft Punk is just too good. But it was good. It was good. I will give you that. The
Yeah.
Nine Inch
Well, the thing
Nails
is,
crushed it.
I am a bigger fan of Nine Inch Nails. So for me, the soundtrack was insane. And for some reason, the theater I was in was like really loud. So I could
Mhm.
feel like the soundtrack in
Do you
my
see it in
bones.
CXC in CXC?
No, it's they have like the VIP lounges now in San Patricio. So it's kind of like
Mm.
Dolby Atmos
Yeah.
combined with yeah. So the sound was insane. And I actually thought the visuals were great. I thought those were my favorite light cycles so far because they looked kind of like they had heft. They were
Mhm,
heavy.
mhm, mhm.
They were kind of real. I liked the weird contrast of like having the world of Tron and the grid coming into the real world. So visually, I thought it was stunning as well. To be completely honest, I was expecting Jared Leto to be whatever, but Gillian Anderson was great, as she always is. Um, my big problem with the movie is one that it like you said it ignores that legacy happened. Like there's a couple mentions of Sam
Mhm, mhm.
Flynn like having been a thing, and then he disappears for personal reasons apparently, and then
Yeah, yeah.
his office was supposed to be an homage to his dad's
Mhm.
office, but it was really strange. And then there's like that scene at the end, sorry spoilers, the movie's been out for a while, that it was
No one went to see
him.
it, so it's fine.
That's fine.
It's
When
flopping.
like Jared Leto at the end is like holding a picture of like Sam with I forget his the
Olivia
girl's
Wilde with
13,
yeah.
13. Yeah.
Oh my god, what was her? She was an IO, but I
Cora.
forgot her.
Cora.
Cora. There we go. There
Cora.
we go. Which to me, coolest part of the movie. I'm like, here we go. The movie that I wanted to see.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so it's confirmed that they're actually out and they're around in the world. So why
Mhm.
didn't we get that movie? I want to know what happened with them. Like, how did the IO that came out of the grid survive outside it, and everything that happened? And there was they were kind of retconning a lot of the things that were happening because now we're
Mhm.
suddenly kind of talking about what was it, the
The
permanence
permanence code.
code, which is like going back to, I think, uh the IOs having like actual digital DNA, which they
Mhm.
kind of explain in Legacy. So they're kind of trying to steal that, but not acknowledge that the film existed. So it was really
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
disjointed.
mhm. Yep.
And then the problem was that the film didn't really know what it wanted to be.
Yeah.
Like like you were saying, they're doing, oh, we're having AI self-actualize, but you've having AI actual self-actualize since the original Tron, with Tron self-actualizing in the 80s, and then you have the whole thing of the IOs becoming, a new generation of self-created AI.
Mhm. Which I
And
think
and
is more interesting than
of
the
course it's way
permanence
more
code thing.
interesting. Aside from the fact that you have a story that's about, being abandoned by your father, not knowing where your
Mhm.
father went, and you have that whole dynamic. This one you don't really feel attached to any of the characters.
Right. Right.
And then it turns into like a fetch quest for the permanence code, and then it turns into Jared like Ares developing a personality, which he never really does.
You have to be a human
And
to have personality first, and Jared Leto is not a human
yeah,
being.
and then
So
you kind of don't really know where like Eve Kim's character is,
mhm.
like, who I love because I love Greta Lee from the morning show, and I thought she was like a breath of fresh air, but you didn't give her enough heft and you didn't
Mhm,
know what her
mhm.
character really was. So she's kind of there just like trying to carry the whole movie and trying
Yeah,
to give
yeah.
personality to Jared Leto and all these things. So yeah, the movie just did not understand what it wanted to be. And then
Mhm.
that third act kind of falls apart completely because you don't know where they were going with it. It's like, oh, okay, now I'm self-actualizing and I um decided to rebel against my overlords because it's like, okay, you gave AI power and then you expect the Terminator not to happen.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know, it was just kind of it just that was the main problem. It didn't know
I
where
don't
it
know, it sounds like
wanted
you
to
had
go.
a lot of problems.
I have problems with it. The thing is, like, I was smiling throughout it. I had fun. So, which,
Fair.
you know what I mean? It wasn't just like I was there nitpicking for some reason. It kind of took me outside of everything. And I was criticizing it as it was happening, obviously. But
Mhm.
while I was there, it was just kind of, this is fun. This is pretty. I like going to the movies. I wish they would have made a better movie, but I'm kind of glad to take a day with Husband and get out of the house and actually sit in a movie theater and watch a movie. So
Well,
it,
I'm
you
definitely
know what I
happy.
mean.
I'm definitely
Mm,
happy that your experience was positive
mm.
because when I left the theater,
You were like, oh,
and
this is crap.
I, I want to enjoy things, even if it's, it's not, if
Yeah,
it's not the greatest film of all time. I still want to like leave the movies and be like, hey, that was fun. But
mm. You didn't.
it didn't know because I
Couldn't.
was just like,
Yeah,
I mean, because visually, I mean, sure, the movie looked good, but then I'm just like, but you're not showing me anything that I haven't already seen,
yeah.
and for me, like everything that we saw in Legacy was done so much better, and it felt a lot more intentional because one of the things that I really love about Tron Legacy when I was like going through the behind the scenes things was that the director was Joseph Kosinski, and he studied architecture at Columbia University, and like
Hmm.
everyone knows him now as the director of Top Gun Maverick, but
Yeah.
for me, he's always going to be like the director of Tron Legacy because I remember he
Hmm.
shot that film so architecturally, where like the whole
All
world
the lines and the, yeah.
everything's framed in a very majestic way, and like you're meant to like see everything, and there's lots of symmetry and like how everything is shot
Hmm.
in slow movement so that you can appreciate all of the world building. And I felt that in this movie, it's just like, okay, well, we have to this
Pack in as much as
that one
stuff as we can.
yeah, like Tron Legacy was more of a a digital philosophical film about the nature
Yeah.
of being in a digital world, but now we have to
Yeah.
dumb it down because the corporate overlords at Disney don't want to make a boring film, so let's just make it an action movie now. And it's just a bunch of fast camera movements in the grid, and it's like the coolest part of Tron is being in the grid. And in this movie, we spend
We're
what,
barely in the grid.
like
We're barely in the
20
grid. Yeah,
minutes in the
I know.
grid. We're
Hmm.
mostly like in Aries' bedroom,
Hmm.
which looks like a cheap version of Clue's
Throne
tower
room.
in
Hmm.
Legacy.
Legacy.
And so and then the rest when we were like when she comes into the Dillinger the it's not Encom. It's where is it? No, it is Dillinger. It's Dillinger Systems or whatever. When they go into the Dillinger grid,
Grid.
we go through it so fast with her that I'm just like, okay, so we didn't even get to enjoy being back in this grid. And same with the Encom grid. Like they go to steal that thing in the Encom grid,
And
and
they're
it's
barely
just
in the grid.
and you're
Yeah.
barely there. And like I think it's interesting to want to be like, okay, what happens when the grid comes into the real world? Some of that I think like looked really cool, but I don't think it
Yeah.
was executed as awesome as it could have been. But more balance, I think, would have been cooler. But and I think it was a you know the script's fault because you don't know who your main character is. And
Yeah.
Jared Leto is forcing himself to be the main character, and because he's the main character, we don't really get to know anyone else. So,
Yeah.
but we have to be in the real world more often because like, all the other characters are in the real world, and none of them are compelling. They're like Evan Peters. He's great in everything. Not here. He's just like generic bad guy CEO.
Yeah.
What was her name? I apologize. What was CEO? What was her name? Uh,
Eve Kim.
yeah, like she was
I
almost
liked her.
interesting.
Yeah,
She was
yeah. But
with what
she
little
wasn't
they
getting
gave
enough
her.
meat. Yeah,
Yeah,
she didn't get enough meat to like because she was great in what she was given.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
it wasn't that all that much.
I mean,
So,
she should have been the main character.
yeah, she
You
should
know,
have. I
she
agree.
should have been the Sam Flynn. It's just like showing like how she came to run the company and like discover
Well, yeah,
the
especially if
script.
you're trying to compare like what a bad CEO is supposed to be like versus what the good CEO is supposed to be that and when Warrior is supposed to do. I don't know. It was strange. It was strange because and I remember having like a philosophical argument with Josbando because like I was saying, we watched Legacy afterwards and
Mhm.
he didn't really remember Tron Legacy that much because originally he didn't like it that much. And this whole time it's like, so I don't know why did they make Tron Ares? Like, I don't know what they were doing. I mean, we already had the actualization of the characters happening. Like, why are we doing
Mhm.
that again?
Again,
And I was like, I feel like they're trying to show what happens when it's AI created by bad guys versus the other one, but it's a stretch to
it's
get to
a
that analysis.
massive stretch. Because I mean,
Yeah.
maybe if this movie had come out 10 years ago, we'd
Hmm.
be like, okay, sure, AI, good guys. But now that we're kind of going through it with
Yeah.
AI and seeing that there's no such thing as a good CEO doing AI ethically, I'm just like, oh, so
Yeah.
this is obviously fiction. It's
Yeah,
not
so
even a
you're clearly not
commentary.
adjusting to the time. You're not commentary. Yeah, you're
Mhm,
not
mhm,
commenting to the times. And there's so much you could do because since you already had them like doing the self actualization in the previous
mhm.
iterations, you should show more because they try to at the beginning to like make them it's AI weaponized. But
Yeah,
then you kind of lose that track because since you don't have the permanence code, you can't effectively make them weapons. So you kind of lose that
yeah,
thread of the story there and the thread of what AI looks like when it's weaponized. So there were a lot of misses.
yeah. I mean, and the whole permanence code thing, I get it. I get what they were going for with it.
Mhm.
But then I'm like, but why would he want it to begin with? Like, we don't really see that much of Jared of Ares to be, having any sort of character development to see why he would want to be in the real world. Like,
Yeah.
okay, sure, everyone's gonna say like, oh well, when he was in the real world, he saw the rain, and it's like, wow,
Uh-huh.
that's a stretch. You
I
know,
think it was more about like when he saw the who should have been the main characters, Eve Kim's like life
yeah,
stories and but then you don't see
but
a
you don't see it.
significant yeah, you don't really see it. And then the conversation with like Kevin Flynn's character is so shallow. I
Let's
mean,
yeah,
the
let's
fact
get to
that
that. Yeah,
the entire conversation is kind of about him being in love with Depeche Mode and having a sense of humor, which he doesn't really.
yeah,
It was kind of so weird. And comparing that to Legacies, like Kevin Flynn's interactions with
mhm,
his son Sam Flynn and how it starts like really awkward and how kind of they start to restructure that relationship, that's such a much more compelling story.
yeah,
So I don't know. And then there were also a lot of like continuity errors because in Legacy, you have who's supposed to be Dillinger's grandson,
mhm.
played by Killian
Oh,
Murphy,
yeah, that's his son
in
in that one. So it's
Son.
I
So
read
this
about it.
is the grandson?
Yeah,
Okay, so that's how they
because
fix that?
Gillian Anderson, she's the original baddie's daughter. So Killian Murphy would have been her brother, and then Evan Peters is her son. So
Okay, and
they still made it fit. But see, but that's one of those things. I'm just like, why are you
you have to
introducing
make it fit.
more? Yeah, it's like, why are you introducing more people? I mean, they maybe did it because Killian Murphy said like, hey man, like I
I'm
won
not.
my Oscar for
Yeah,
Oppenheimer.
I'm done.
I don't need this gig anymore, which I get. But it's just like that would have been you know
Yeah,
great. You had already set it up. Obviously, they cast Killian Murphy thinking
as
about the
Dillinger's son,
future.
of course,
Yeah.
because Dillinger was the original bad guy in the original Tron.
And here they just made
So
him like the grandson is just like a cartoon character, a bad guy,
yeah,
which
yeah,
I get. I mean, the movie's animated, I guess, so it almost makes sense that he should be a animated villain, a
cartoony bad
cartoon
guy.
villain. But whatever. But
Mhm.
you were mentioning Jeff Bridges's Kevin Flynn, and we were talking about Tron. And in Tron, one of the coolest parts was Kevin Flynn, kind of had how he had this
In Legacy, yeah,
mystical aura of himself. Like when he arrives at the end of Line Club, and everyone's like, "Oh, the creator,"
the
and
creator,
everything.
and everybody drops to their
It
knees and
looks
the
so
whole
cool,
thing.
and he's
Yeah,
just, I mean, the kids nowadays call it aura farming, and he was doing that 15 years ago in
Laura
Tron
farming.
Legacy,
Oh my
and
god. Okay.
here
Mhm.
we have Kevin Flynn return because, and I'm glad that he did for the record
I'm
because
glad that he did too.
we
Yeah,
always want more Kevin Flynn and more Jeff Bridges, but it was done in such a like again kind of a
it was
cartoony way
strange.
that didn't even
Yeah,
feel like Kevin Flynn as a character. It felt like a watered down fan fiction version of him in a very bizarre way because we were talking right before we were talking about Ares and Legacy, we are talking about the original Tron and how those visuals kind of look dated by today's standards and how it's kind of like a weird thing to kind of watch. And I was thought it was interesting that we were saying that a minute ago because spoiler alert, when Ares meets Kevin
hmm,
Flynn, he doesn't meet him in the NCOM grid or the grid that Sam goes to in Legacy. He meets him in the original Tron
yeah,
grid from the
yeah,
80s, and
yeah,
it's modeled to look like the grid from the 80s.
yeah.
And that was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for me
I
because
actually kind of liked
it
it.
took me completely out of the movie. And I'm like, what are we doing? I was
Yeah,
like, what is this? Did
yeah.
that work for you? Because for me, I'm like, I get what you're doing, the homage and
Yeah.
everything, but it just, for
I
me, fell
kind of
flat.
I really liked it. Again, because I was a fan of the
Oof.
original, so it was kind of really cool for me to go back to that original grid. So, I don't know. It's a preference thing. I actually really
No.
liked that part.
For me, it had like a lot of tonal dissonance. I'm like, oh, like what?
It was, and they did like the graininess
Yeah,
of
the
it because
graininess.
they
Yeah.
looked kind of grayish in it, and the colors are adjusted, and the fact that the light cycles could only go in one
Yeah,
direction
yeah,
because
yeah.
that's as far as technology could go back in the day. And
Hmm.
so I actually really liked that part. Yeah.
I
Disagree
mean, that's
with
good.
me. It's
That's good.
fine.
That's good.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
prefer life to have joy out there in such things because I want another Tron movie. Despite how I feel about this one,
How
I
about
do
this
want the
one?
sequel, even though apparently it's doing so badly at the
It's never
box
gonna
office
happen.
that they're gonna shelf the Tron property. But what they should be shelving is Jared Leto. Just get rid of him and do a good movie. Like, don't blame
Yeah.
Tron, blame Jared Leto. Um, but yeah, no, and that scene, I just didn't like it either. I mean, it just it was a couple of
Uh,
things that didn't
no,
work.
honestly, I liked it because of the nostalgia factor and the fact that I was a big fan of the original,
Yeah.
and it was cool to have that huge callback. But like I said, like the main problem with Tron Ares is that it didn't know what kind of movie it
Yeah.
wanted to be.
Mhm.
And then they also kind of hinted like a love story, but it never actually happened. So it didn't know what it wanted to be. It didn't
Mhm.
know if it
Mhm.
wanted to be an action film, a fetch quest, uh, a psychological investigation into the AI and the
Which it was not.
nature
Which it was
of.
not.
I mean, it just didn't know what it was at all, and some of the good actors in it were struggling really hard. Because you could tell like Gillian Anderson was
Hey,
trying
she's a
really hard
queen.
to do
She's a
something, and
queen. She
she's
can do whatever she wants.
fantastic, and she looks so good.
I was upset that
Um,
they just killed her. I'm like, why
I
would
know.
you like? Why
Yeah,
would you cast her to
to
kill
just
her?
kill her, like, yeah,
It was truly bizarre decisions all around that I don't think like paid off to anything in particular because I'm like, ugh, I don't
yeah.
know.
And
We
then even
kind of
like that
end,
end sequence, like
yeah.
he after all the horrible things that he does, he ends up escaping into the grid, a grid that's supposed to have been like exploded into,
Well,
and
I
now
I
he
can see
turns
how they would
into
justify it.
yeah, and now
Oh,
he
the same
turns
costume.
into
Yeah,
yeah. Sax was the character or something of the
I
in the
don't know.
original Tron film that like was the lieutenant of the master commander or whatever.
Oh, it was
It's
a.
been a while.
It's. I mean, it was the same costume that his because it was kind of the same thing that they did with Clue, where like Clue looks just like Jeff Bridges, and the original
Right.
Tron, the
Yeah, and they went
Dillinger
back to what he
was
looked
Master
like.
Control,
Yeah.
whoever or whatever the hell he was, and
Yeah.
they did that. And I'm just like, I mean, I get it. You know,
I get it.
servers
It's,
are
it's fine.
everywhere, so you can like move from a server to another
Hmm.
one. I can buy that. I'm just like, okay, but it was sequel baiting for sequel bait's sake, and I was just excited when they saw the photo of Olivia Wilde and Sam
Yeah,
Flynn.
I was excited about that. Yeah.
I'm like,
But then
okay,
I
there
was
we
like,
go.
this is the movie you should have done.
The movie they should have done. I
Hmm.
I agree with that. Maybe, you know, in 15 years. Oh no, let's be more optimistic. Maybe 10 years. Maybe in 10 years, Disney, which might be a super corporation that bought Warner Brothers or something like that, because there's no rules against monopolies anymore, will decide to reboot Tron and we'll get a proper sequel for it. And maybe Daft Punk will come back and do a soundtrack with Nine Inch
I'm still
Nails.
cool with 90. Oh, yeah. The combination would be fantastic, I think, actually.
That you know, that's some irresponsible speculation that I'm okay with because I know that we're not gonna get it, so we can go
Yeah,
as crazy as we want.
as we want.
But speaking of crazy, then like you know, I know that you liked Tron Ares, but you
Hmm.
know, in this world where like you saw some of the some of the flaws, for lack of a better word, how
Yeah.
would you have retooled that film to be better to your liking? Or a better sequel to Legacy? Like, what are your thoughts to kind of make it, you know, improve it a little bit besides getting rid
Not
of
casting
Jared?
Jared Leto. I mean, I think there was also a problem with the red is like really
It
jarring.
was
You
a
know,
lot. It was a lot of
it
red.
was a lot of constant red,
Yeah,
and I get Legacy's a lot of blue, but blue's like a mellow color that you can like
yeah.
consistently watch
And the bad
throughout
guys
an
were
entire
orange. They
film.
weren't full red. Yeah,
Yeah. So, and I guess why they're trying to maybe make the distinction because Clue wasn't really like Clue was supposed to be orange,
hmm.
maybe. It's all a stretch. It's all like you trying to make excuses for what they were doing. So, one, no Jared Leto. Two, the red is really jarring, so you have to be careful with it. I would have liked way more of the grid because I, like you, I kept expecting, oh, we're going to infiltrate. Oh, so we're going to get more of like the world inside the grid. And we never really got that, which was disappointing. Um, they needed more character development
Yeah,
in general because you don't really care about any of them all that much. Like you said, we almost care about the female CEO,
almost,
almost.
almost.
But they don't give her enough for it. I mean, you need an antagonist who you actually kind of want to root for, but at
Yeah,
the same time hate. You know, kind of like the latest version of Lex Luthor, which I
yeah,
really
yeah,
loved in the
yeah, yeah,
latest
yeah,
Superman, something that a character that's compelling that you kind of you feel empathy or sympathy for. But this version, like Julian
yeah.
Dillinger, was like just so
Or be so evil that you're cool. You know, it's just
Mhm.
like everyone wants to love to hate you type of thing. But he did not fall into either category of like so
Yeah.
evil he's cool or compelling evil.
Mhm.
It's like not there was no he did not fit any of these
Yeah.
categories.
I'm still confused why they're named after the Greeks. Like, why is he Ares, and why is the counterpart Athena, and why is like there was never an explanation of any of that.
I mean, they made a ref like who I think it was
Yeah,
Kim's.
the comic relief
Yeah, he's like, oh,
character
like the god
who
of war, and he's
you're
like,
Greek.
exactly.
Mhm. Right,
And it's
but
like,
then
oh, and
Athena
like,
is supposed
wow,
to be the goddess of wisdom, and then she's like a war queen. So why would she be named Athena? I
because it
mean,
starts with an A and it's Greek. I think that's about as.
and then
That's
that's
the problem with the
another
film. Like it's a
right.
puddle. It's a puddle
Yeah.
that thinks it's an ocean.
Now I hate it. Damn it! Talking
No,
about it now.
I don't
Yes.
want you to hate it. I don't want you to hate it. I don't want you to hate it. I just
um,
passionately.
but then that's another problem because then you have only Ares self-actualizing,
Mm.
and Athena, who's like the right-hand woman who also has an opportunity to learn, she just like doubles down on being a
Yeah,
machine.
he could have
You know?
taught her. He could have
So
saved her. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
The women just die.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
she dies.
yeah.
Oh my god. Uh,
Gillian Anderson
Thank you.
dies.
Gillian Anderson dies.
Hmm.
Eve Kim's sister dies. You know, it's like, why are we killing all the women
Hmm.
in this film? You know, it's a bizarre decision. And also, I don't know how you felt about this, but I mean, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. But when Hassan Minaj shows up, I'm like, what are you doing in this movie? Like, I like
Right.
Hassan Minaj. He's great.
Yeah.
You know, I love him in in the Daily Show and like his solo stand up thing. I think he's
Yeah.
really good. So like, I like him. I didn't know he was acting in film. So all of a sudden he shows up, and I'm just like, why are you here?
Why?
And why are
What's
you just
happening?
yourself? It just, I don't know. It was very dissonant.
Yeah.
It
Hmm.
just took me out of it. So I don't know that that was the right move, but
Right casting
you know.
choice. Yeah.
But good for him for being there. You know, if they had offered me to be in that movie, I would have said yes too. And I was like, hey, let's
Any
go.
movie. Come on, Goose.
Yeah,
You'd be okay. Yeah.
nah,
Eh.
depends. If it's
Eh.
if it's a you know the war in the stars, anyone,
Yeah.
any of them, especially if it's a Ben Solo film starring Adam Driver, which kind
Oh
of
my
to
god. Which we have to talk about.
which
We
we
definitely
will
have to talk about.
talk about, and it's one of those things that to seg into our next episodes. Just we just talked about a film that Disney said yes to. It's like Disney said yes to Jared Leto leading a film. Jared Leto, notoriously not good guy, not someone who's been carrying
And
any
how many
franchise.
franchises he's already ruined
I think
already?
this will be the third one. He ruined the
Batman.
DCU with his Joker. Obviously, now he ruined Tron. He ruined
Morpheus.
Morbius.
Morbius. That
So
was terrible. Oh my
like
god, that was terrible.
they this is exactly this is the second one with Disney because Morbius was Sony. So that's three different studios that give him things and he's destroyed them. And then Disney says no to Adam Driver when fandom
Adam
wants,
Driver.
well, the world wants Adam Driver and the fandom wants more Ben Solo and like more post Rise of Skywalker films or stories, and then we don't get that. But that'll be one
Directed by Soderbergh.
or the event. But come on, that's
Yeah,
a
we need to get into that. This is a whole another
that's an
episode.
easy one. But we'll
Oh
have
yeah.
another one on that one. But for now, I don't want to. I feel like I've been a negative Nancy, so I feel it's time to
Yeah.
reel it
Yeah.
back in.
Yeah. So actually, I think the best part of Tron Ares is that it made me want to watch Tron Legacy again and realize that
Yes.
I love Tron Legacy.
Yeah, and the soundtrack's good. Like it's still, the action sequences. Some of them were good.
A lot of them actually better than I expected, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
A lot of them were really good.
Visuals were good,
Hmm.
but my problem with the visuals is not that they were bad, it's that I already saw them before. So I'm just like, okay, so you're just
Right.
giving me more of what I already knew and I already saw it done
Yeah,
better.
and improving on it, but only slightly and without a better story to back it, so I'm not as emotionally attached.
Yeah. But I've seen worse movies. Uh, if it's on, actually, I wouldn't rewatch it. I would just rewatch Legacy. Never mind. Let's just leave it at that. You
I
know.
might rewatch it now that I've felt like I've hated on it more than I was expecting after talking to you.
Well, I have
Because
a feeling
when
that's gonna be on streaming really fast.
probably because I actually had fun with it when I saw it in theaters. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, but hey, I'll take being at the movie theaters and eating popcorn and seeing a
Mhm.
film over, you know, not doing that. So yeah, it's art that's out there, and we can talk about it now. And we had new Tron. We hadn't had Tron for 15 years, so
Yeah.
despite it not being great, it's history
And the
repeating
Tron wasn't
itself.
in it.
Every time Tron comes out, no one goes to see it, and a lot of people don't like it.
It always flops. Yeah. Even
So
the original one was a
yeah,
flop.
and well, Legacy made money, but not enough to justify
Yeah.
doing the sequel quickly, which is
Mhm.
why it took so long. But we'll just have to wait. We'll just have to wait, and
Mhm.
either go to Disney World and ride the Tron cycle ride thing
Which I
that
haven't, by the way.
I haven't either. I haven't been to
Yeah.
Disney World in over 20 years.
Oh,
And
wow.
so we'll see. But that's it.
Mhm.
That's it for today. Until we talk
I think
about
that is.
Adam
Mhm.
Driver and Ben Solo.
Yeah. So until next time, let us know what you think about Tron Ares. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you even watch it? Do you care? Can
Yeah.
we petition to banish Jared Leto from acting? Oh my god. Um so let us know what you thought. And let us know what you think about if you've read about the possible Ben Solo movie that was supposed to happen that didn't get okayed while this movie got okayed, because we're going
Mhm.
to be talking about that on next episode. And, much love for Adam Driver, because that is an actor that definitely deserves to continue making films because he is amazing. So until next time, may the force be with you.